Podcasting from their dining room table in
Way-ho.
California, it's the Stonebergs with Dave Stone and Katie Strandberg. Get it? Advice and encouragement from two goofballs who can barely run their own lives. Call now at 562-548-2012 to be a part of the show. Now welcome, the Stonebergs.
That's us.
That is us. Hello. Hello, David.
Hello, Katie.
Ugh, that sounds so weird.
Feels weird to call each other by our names.
I know. Well, because we're gross and we call each other boo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that's annoying for some people, but I don't care. You're my boo.
Yeah, that's it.
That's also our code. Like if we're on the phone and you ever refer to me as Dave or David on the phone, I know that you're being held hostage or that you're in danger or that there's someone else present. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
We're at a level red.
Mm-hmm.
If I call you David, we're at a level red.
The only other time I call you Katie is if we're in public, like at a grocery store or something, and I want to holler at you from across the aisle. I don't want other people to know that I call you boo.
I don't care.
So I might say something like, Katie, do we need any self-rising flour?
I honestly haven't heard Katie in a while because you're like the only person I hang out with. So if you say Katie, I'm like, that's interesting. There's another Katie in this store. Wait, no.
Yeah. It's weird how that works. How you doing?
Oh, I'm grand.
What's going on here with the pillow?
Well,
you hiding a pregnancy? What are you doing?
No, it's as an ADHD person, you need something to hold. For the audio listeners, I'm holding a fuzzy pillow.
Okay.
Shut up. I'll put it under my legs. Okay. Well, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Well,
it was just funny. You look like Elaine in season 7 when she was the actress was pregnant, but the character wasn't. So they always had a pillow in front of her or big clothes.
I know. I'm having I will say I'm having trouble with my hands.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know what to do with them. We're filming now. I just
Katie, just relax.
Ugh. Yeah, it's easy.
I like your sexy mechanic outfit here.
Yeah, who needs a Volvo change?
I like that. You look like Rosie the Riveter.
I know, I'm trying. Yeah.
This is your new thing, the jumpsuits.
I'm doing the jumpsuits.
I like it.
Thank you so much. You know what I was thinking, and I don't know if it'd be too much. What do you think of initials? KS.
Why
embroidered.
Why not?
To Laverne and Shirley?
I don't think so. What's the matter?
I don't know.
Do you like it?
See, I don't know. You know what I would like is like an old-timey like gas station patch that says, Katie.
Very similar to the first suggestion. You know what else we could do? Something very similar.
Look, I don't know. Look at my hands. I'm now a chicken. Okay, this will be a thing. I'll rest my hands on the table.
I wish I could wear the one-piece jumpsuit thing or the overall thing. I wanted to rock overalls. I always get overalls and coveralls confused. Overalls are just the straps with everything.
Straps.
The only problem with that is like, all right, my gut is too big. And then with guys, sometimes you got a little too much moose knuckle or whatever going on there.
What's a moose knuckle?
You can context clues. It's just too much.
Oh, like a camel toe, but a guy version?
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
You know, camel toes were in for a little bit.
What does that mean?
It means they were in. Like ladies wanted to show in leggings, they wanted to show their camel toe.
What's the benefit of that?
I don't know. Maybe you could see the... Okay, we'll stop.
All
right. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Camel toes, moose knuckles, we're here, Stonebergs.
That's a Brian Posehn joke, by the way, if anybody. Moose knuckle.
Oh.
I don't want anybody in the comments. She's ripping people off.
Listen, but you've had a rough couple of days with the cooking and all, and I don't know if you want to bring that up, but I just did, so now you have to.
I burnt a damn roux last night. After stirring it for, no shit, an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Hour and a half with this roux, and then I burnt it.
Why? What happened? Do you want to walk me through it?
Well, sure. Okay. Making some gumbo this week for Dave's Kitchen.
Okay.
Patreon.com/Dave's Kitchen.
Do it, guys. Because I want more coveralls.
Get one video and one podcast every month. So making some gumbo, right? And gumbo always starts with a roux. And roux is, theoretically, roux is equal parts flour and fat. Oh. That's what they always say. It's equal parts. But here's the thing. It's not equal parts. That's easier to say. Hey, just equal parts flour and fat. Meaning flour, and then you could use oil, you could use butter, you could use lard, you could use whatever, some sort of fat. Problem is it's not equal parts. Because equal parts gives you a really thin roux.
Okay.
Right? And I like a thick roux.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want the texture or the consistency to look like that of wet sand. So I started, and I've made gumbo 50 times. And every time I do this, I always start with the equal parts, blah, blah, blah. And then I realize, like, that's bullshit. I need more flour. It's too thin. So I'm stirring. And by the way, when you make a roux, you get it going, and you have to stir it, and I'm not exaggerating, constantly. You can't walk away. You could maybe walk away for 10 seconds. Once it gets full heat, if you walk away 15, 20 seconds, it's going to burn. And once it burns, you can tell it's burning because little black flecks, little flakes and flecks. What's the difference between a flake and a fleck? I don't know. But like little pepper, and that's how you know it's burning, right? That and the smell. So you have to constantly stir it because we're trying to get that flour and oil to kind of infuse together, but also trying to bring the color from like a pale to ultimately, depending on what kind of gumbo you're making. Like I'm making chicken and sausage gumbo, and I want like a deep, dark chocolate colored roux. So you have to constantly stir it so it doesn't burn, and you got to keep the heat on so it eventually gets darker. My problem, the mistake I made, even after an hour, it still wasn't as dark as I wanted it, and I think part of that was because it was too thin, so I kept adding a little flour late in the game, and then that new flour just panicked, and it just burned.
Oh, no.
So after 90 minutes of stirring this fucking roux, it burned, and I had to start all over again.
Yeah, that was a tough evening.
But now I got my technique figured out, and I just did one 45 minutes. I got it to where I wanted in 45 minutes.
Good job.
There's nothing more disheartening than spending an hour and a half, not even on the whole dish. I mean, some people, to cook a whole thing, hour and a half seems like a task. This is just the base. I spent an hour and a half just on the roux, and then it burned.
I was in my room, our room, organizing, and I heard, God damn it. And I was just like, oh no, the roux of it all. And I'm sorry.
I'm drinking beer today because I haven't had any booze in over 2 weeks.
Ooh.
But I think it's, I think I read this somewhere. It's physically impossible to make Louisiana style gumbo without having a beer. So.
It's true. What happens if you don't? You just explode.
It burns the roux. So I'm boozing today.
Well, I'm proud of you,
so
Bill.
Watch out. Free headlocks coming up.
Oh, dear.
Anybody want to arm wrestle?
I know. I love that you're a happy drunk.
I'm a happy, goofy drunk.
You are. I used to just cry.
Yeah. and yell.
A lot of yelling. Directed towards you, though.
Yeah.
And real weird narratives I would make up.
I don't miss drunk Katie.
I know you don't.
So, anyway.
Listen.
So how are you?
Not great.
No? What's wrong?
Well, I had an incident. I purchased this awesome diffuser that looks like a disco ball on Amazon. Okay.
Diffuser sounds like something you would use to help with a bomb.
Oh, what is it called? An aroma?
No, I think it is a diffuser. I just mean it's an odd thing to call something that's just supposed to emit smelly good.
Well, and you made fun of me.
Yeah.
And I understand why, but I do have a case here.
So this is a diffuser, meaning you put what inside of it?
You put aromatherapy.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever, I guess an essential oil.
That reminds me, there's a part 2 to this story I got to tell too.
Okay. Essential oil.
Yeah.
And then you put water in it. And
then it's supposed to...
And the mist comes out. And
we've had about 10 of those. Okay. Not the disco ball, but like in theory, a diffuser's a great idea. Like, it just kind of spritz out essential oils and makes my house smell good. And no, they never work.
Okay. I have a question. Did they work before you met me? Did you have diffusers in your past that worked happily, and we're fine.
I think you introduced me to the world of diffusers. Before that, I was more of a candle and a incense guy.
Oh yeah, incense. Well, okay, so I'm first of all, I was under the influence of marijuana when I bought this. However, it turns. It's supposed to turn. It's a disco ball. There's a light in it, and then it mists from the top all this aromatherapy. Okay, so we didn't have any oils per se.
Any essential oils.
Right. But I thought what Dr. Bronner's essential hemp lavender certified fair trade made with organic oils pure soap.
You should have put soap in the diffuser. How'd that work?
Well, look, it's water, it's organic coconut oil, it's lavender extract. It's all the things. It didn't work. In fact, I broke it.
What did it do? Did it bubble up any soap? Did bubbles?
No, it was mist at first, and then it just started spewing out like a fountain.
Where do, like, when we have essential oils and stuff, because you're always moving stuff around, where do we keep all that kind of stuff? Essential oils and smelling good. Is there like a designated area in the house?
Yeah.
Because yesterday you came into the kitchen while I was cooking, and you just on a mission. And you sling open the spice cabinet, and you're like, hey, do we have any essential oil?
Why wouldn't it be in the spice cabinet? It's the same size. You can use essential oil in your life in the kitchen, right? Like, don't some people do that because they'll take the oil and they'll boil the water. They'll take water, they put some essential oils in it, and then boom, you get the aroma.
That cabinet has nothing but cooking stuff. Spices, sauces,
sure,
what have you.
Well,
you were like knocking over pepper and Worcestershire sauce and barbecue. Where's the essential oil?
Well,
like it's olive oil or coconut oil or vegetable oil.
Isn't all oil? Oil's the same.
Then why not just put some bacon grease in your diffuser?
Well, if I wanted the room to smell like bacon, maybe I would.
Not a bad idea.
I know. But now I can't even return it.
But you sincerely thought that in my spice rack with all my sauces and spices that you might find a little bottle of tea tree oil or something?
Yes. What
food does that go on?
I don't know. Does lavender go in food?
No, that's why it's not in the spice rack. That's my point.
Okay, question. There's got to be, what about thyme? TH with the thing. There's stuff that you have in there. Bay leaf. That could be probably in a diffuser.
You're gonna cram a bay leaf in the diffuser to get clogged.
Yo, I think you put it in the cast the I hate diffusers, okay? This is why I'm a candle person. Okay. Because that's easy. That's one step. Incense, many steps. You have to get the stick and the thing. Yeah, it should go on.
Saved by the bell. Oh, boy.
Anyway.
You're a trip, boo.
I know.
What are we talking about today? We got a topic?
We do. I have a topic.
Are we done catching up?
We're done.
I can't keep up with the new format.
Well, okay, so that was 5 minutes. I don't know how much your gumbo thing was. But I do care about it. Yeah. And your feelings are valid.
Oh, before I forget, I watched some football this weekend.
Whoop.
That's not news.
Oh.
But it is news that I watched Sacramento State versus Stanford. Now, you might be asking, Dave, you're a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing watching Sacramento State versus Stanford?
Right.
Well, we have family ties to that game.
I know. I have a family member. We have a family member.
Young nephew David,
who's huge.
He's they got him listed at 6'3", 305, I think is what the program had him at. 6'3", 305. That's a giant human being.
Yeah, he can move a couch.
Yeah, 6'3", 305. Offensive lineman for the Sacramento State Hornets.
That's a big deal,
and
right?
They're D1, but they're in a kind of a not a Power 5 conference. I don't know what you would call the secondary conferences, but they're in the Big Sky Conference, kind of that whole Montana, Nevada, Northern California area. Anyway, Stanford in the Pac-12. Now, I don't know much about Stanford football, but Pac-12 is a Power 5 conference, meaning you got the SEC, you You got the Pac-12, you got the Big 10, you got the Big 12, you got somebody else. I can't keep up.
Big 16?
ACC.
18?
There's 5 major conferences.
Okay. Georgia
being the SEC, Southeastern Conference. Stanford being the Pac-12, Pacific 12. Those numbers, by the way, they always change. It's Pac-12, but I don't know if there's still 12 teams in it. There used to be the Big 10, still the Big 10, but I think there's more than 10 schools. Anyway, you got Stanford's big school, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento State kicked their ass.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm a Sacramento State Hornet fan. Go David. Yes. I don't know if he got in a game, but he's dressed out. I saw him on the sideline a few times.
Oh.
But yeah, number 51, shout out to David Dean.
David Dean.
But yeah, watched Sacramento State kick ass against Stanford this weekend. So that was
and
fun.
we might go.
Yeah,
up,
I think
right?
we're going up in a few weeks. They play Montana State. There's a tie there because your dad played at Montana State.
That is very true.
Years and years ago.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Okay.
I don't know if he's full of shit, but that's what he said.
I think he lasted like a year or two.
That's not bad. It's longer I lasted at college football. I was a college football player for almost a month.
No way.
Yeah, West Georgia University.
What happened?
D2, hurt my knee.
Oh.
And it's like, well, I'm not going to do all this and not play. So,
yeah. So that was it?
That was the end of my college athletic career.
Well, couldn't you just fix your knee and go back?
Yeah, but
okay,
long
story.
Other factors.
Want to talk
too.
about? Did you know that freshman year of college, went to cross-country/track and field camp for like a month?
How about that?
No, it was probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, a month seems
maybe
like a
a
long
week.
time.
I don't know. Anyway, but I did a lot of running.
Yeah.
And then I was going to be a part of the team, but I said no because I couldn't commit.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to sell fruit for my parents at farmers markets on Saturdays.
That's a common dilemma many of us face.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
I understand.
But yeah.
So.
R.I.P. my Cougar running career. APU. God first.
Look at her go.
I know.
There she goes.
I'm good at running.
It's Katie.
Away.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, we do have a topic this week.
All right, what are we getting into?
Okay. Ready? I'm getting my sign. Here we go.
Look
Trauma bonding. Aaron, does this look good? Yeah. You'll tell me in post.
That sounds like that looks like a sign a panhandler would have.
Aaron said that. He was like, we should go get you on the side of a freeway with trauma bonding.
People are like, I don't know what that means, but sure, take $1.
Here.
Get away from me.
Okay, so trauma bonding. Now, this is kind of a sad topic. And I realized last week we did shadow work, but there's hope for it.
Okay.
And I want to bring the hope to it. But we're going to get into what it is. Okay. Also, look at the cute kitty.
Yeah? Is that the trauma kitty?
It's the trauma kitty. Okay. So.
What's the point of that?
Okay, so I tried to give this to our neighbor, Mark. This is a little cat toy, guys. And he literally said, I don't like cats. But look, he gets sad because he gets traumatized. And then, up.
Look at that. That's pretty cool.
If you want to see Trauma Kitty, go to YouTube, the Stonebergs.
Trauma Kitty. Coming this fall on Adult Swim.
Weird. Boo, do you know what trauma bonding is? Now, let's just pretend you're going to teach it to me. What is it?
Well, I've heard you mention this phrase several times, and I always thought it just meant, hypothetically, you and I go through some trauma or some tragic event together, and because we went through that together and experienced it together, we are now trauma bonded, or that was some trauma bonding.
That is true.
Is that true? Because when you were describing it to me...
Oh, then that's the topic.
That's the topic. We got to it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. But when you were explaining it to me a while ago, it sounded like something kind of different.
Okay, so we're gonna define it. Okay. So when you are faced with abuse and neglect, we are chemically wired to focus on getting to the other side. Okay, so it's a chemical thing in our mind. So when you trauma bond, it's the same reaction you get, like the dopamine reaction of doing cocaine or any type of drug. It's the same neurotransmitter in your head that's like, oh, this person is my safe place. This person is going to take care of me.
Okay.
This person is, usually it's a person in control. You're not wrong with the trauma bonding of going through a trauma together, but that's a different thing. This one is a little more switched to, like Stockholm syndrome would be an example. And
that's where you,
like, someone kidnaps you.
Someone kidnaps you, and then you grow to like that person.
Yes. So the brain latches on to positive experiences with this person and tricks you because it's like, oh, this person did have one good thing that happened. And remember how good that felt? So an example, you know me in Las Vegas and you know me in slot machines, right?
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing at the Las Vegas casinos. So they'll reward you, right? You'll win maybe on the first few, right? And then you just keep pumping that money in because you're like, oh, that was such a fun receptor. But then you go into bankruptcy and you're drinking your life away.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're looking for Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's Robert De Niro?
There's 2 different movies, but that's all right.
Shit. Okay. Okay. So let's go over, what happens, how it shows up in your life. Okay. So,
but give me another example of trauma bonding.
Okay.
So it's not me and you go through a avalanche together, and now we've always got that connection.
yeah, no.
So give me just a hypothetical.
Okay.
Jack and Diane.
What
happened?
Okay. So Jack and Diane. Hi, I'm Diane. Should I do characters?
No, not at all.
I don't. Okay, well, there's 7 stages. Okay, so like narcissism, it starts with love bombing. Okay, so much like the movie Enough, starring Jennifer Lopez, also known as J-Lo, she is a waitress at a diner. It's about abuse, by the way. And her guy, that's the new dude, comes in and rescues her from this, like, jerk guy, right? And so then she's like, oh, look, my knight in shining armor. And so that is when he starts buying her flowers and just loves her and is promising that she is going to have a better life with him, you know, quit her job, become his wife. So that's kind of the love bombing. Like, hey, come in, I'm great. So then they want you to be fully dependent on them. So much like the kidnapper-kidnappee example, the kidnapper loves having somebody they're in control of, right? So same in a relationship, much like J-Lo in the smash hit movie Enough, which is streaming on Peacock.
Never saw that one.
No, we started it.
Did we?
And you got so sad and bored.
I blocked it out of my memory.
You did. Or Sleeping with the Enemy.
There you go. That's a better one.
Yeah. So trust and dependency. So quitting your job. I'll take care of you. I'll buy you a house. You know, usually the wife gets into this, I'm financially dependent on this person, and I'm emotionally dependent on this one person. So then comes the hook, the turn, which is when they start criticizing you. But you remember the love bombing. And you remember the good stuff. So you start to just kind of justify it in your head. Like, okay, well, he or she was really nice that one time. So, maybe it'll happen again. Because that dopamine rush happened with the love bombing, right? So then the manipulation comes, such as, it's really good that you have me.
Yeah.
Or,
what would you do without me?
I'm so glad that I'm here for you. Or I'm the one that's taking care of us, our whole family. You know, it's just a huge mind F where it slowly chips away at your self-esteem. And then you just kind of check out. And I've had this happen in a relationship where I just am like, okay, it's called resigning control, where you're just like, all right, I'll just listen to this person because I want to get to the point where they do something for me, or, okay, just, you try to just block out the bad because you're like remembering the good. And then you start to lose yourself. Because what happens with that, with resigning control, when that happens, that's the cognitive dissonance, right? So that means you just kind of check out, like where you're just like out of body, like just staring at the Housewives of Beverly Hills season 4. You know, it's just a different type of, you know, detachment. And then it makes you kind of alone.
Okay.
Because you don't want to really talk shit on the person that you are like in love with or have a friendship with. Like, you don't want to talk crap to your friends or anything. So, because that one time they were super nice, or that other time. So it's just kind of like, okay, I'll just keep it to myself. And then it's the addiction of that. So it just is a cycle that keeps happening. So then you start to believe it, and you start to believe, oh, thank God I have this person. Thank God, yeah, they deserve a raise, or thank God, like, this person's in my life that is taking care of me. And a lot of trauma victims from early childhood, when, you know, there was a power dynamic in their family, they'll emulate that relationship in life. So say they have a controlling father figure that's really harsh. When they meet somebody in life with a friendship, work relationship, romantic relationship, that's their neurotransmitter of like, oh, this is home. This is safe. You're critical of me.
Yeah.
You kind of
Even
verbally
if it's
abuse
negative,
me.
at least it's familiar.
Yeah. Oh, you're really funny and sarcastic. Awesome. But you feel that dopamine rush, and you're like, cool, and now we're connected.
Okay.
And now we are just bonded, and it's awesome.
I think it was confusing me because I associate bonding or bonded as a positive thing.
I know, because you were raised in like a nice house.
You know, yeah, we're bonded, but like, so there can be negative bonding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was confused.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense because I'm not explaining it well.
Yeah, that too.
No, it's hard. Because there's also, this was developed by Dr. Fisher in 1997. So it's relatively new. So before trauma bonding, that phrase came out, it was Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, okay.
So it was just like, oh my God, emergency situation, kidnapper, kidnappee. But now we've known there's a spectrum of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's the kidnapper, kidnappee, the horrible trauma people have with incest and whatever. But then on the bottom scale, there's, and not that you measure trauma, but emotional abuse. You know, you get used to this cycle in your brain.
Yeah.
And there was an interesting study of this little dog that got abused by their owner. And they opened the door and were like, okay, you're free to go. Like, go, dog. And it wouldn't leave. It wouldn't leave the owner because it's like, oh, this is my safe home.
Yeah.
This is how I, become safe.
Okay.
So it's all about finding your safety, and whatever that is. Okay, I could take the being called a shit, or I could take, the calls at 4 a.m. about horrible shit. You know what I mean? Because this one thing happened, or they're like my sister.
Yeah.
I have a trauma bond with female figures that are older than me. Like, because Susie passed when I was 13.
Yeah.
So I have an issue where I'm like, oh, you're bossy and kind of mean. Awesome.
Yeah.
You're my older sister. Let's go. And that's not a healthy bond that I make with people.
What is that from the, for you in that example?
Yeah.
Is that like, I'd rather feel bad than nothing at all?
That's a great
this
question.
person, like, because I started thinking, like, I don't know if I've ever experienced trauma bonding in a relationship, but definitely, like, maybe, I don't know if this would qualify, but like, I've had bosses that were just assholes, but it was like, that's how they are, and at least they're acknowledging me. At least they remembered my name.
Yes.
He was a prick to me, but he got my name right, so that's something. Or
What?
like coaches, I've had football coaches and stuff that just complete assholes, and that's kind of their persona,
Yeah.
But like, and it never bothered me because like, well, at least he's addressing me. You know, at least I'm, you know, a focal point in his anecdote or whatever.
Do you recall a specific boss that did that, and like a specific, why did you stay? Your boss was a jerk. You needed the money.
Yeah.
And it was a great job, or you were just kind of like, eh.
I mean, I had some sergeants when I was a cop, you know, which
Yeah.
that's a hard question to answer if it's a great job. It was, you know, we've talked about that. Like, it was a decent job as far as income, but it was, you know,
And you guys
a
didn't
horrible
do
job.
Oh, well, of course. And trauma therapy and all that wasn't available to police back then, or cops.
Yeah, no, it was mandated. Like, if you were in an officer-involved shooting or something like that, they, you know, you were ordered to go speak to somebody 1 or 2 times just to, I guess, a liability on their end.
That's interesting. But I guess your sergeant, do you think it was a tactic as a person of power to keep that control and make everybody feel bad? Or was it specifically you that you felt picked on?
No, I didn't feel picked on. I think
Okay.
it was just, you know, Southern masculinity combined with, you know, power dynamics, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the boss, you're the worker, shut the fuck up.
Did you ever get a compliment from him or some sort of encouragement?
Not that I remember.
Wow.
No, I had several sergeants and several bosses throughout my brief law enforcement career, but there's a few I'm thinking about as far as just like, that guy's always pissed.
Yeah.
You can never do anything right in his eyes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, some of those guys, like, now some guys would mix it. You know, there were guys, and I had coaches that way too. You know, you be stern when you have to be, but then also, you know, reward them, you know, congratulate them when they deserve it, that kind of thing. But the couple that I'm thinking about as far as bosses when I was a cop, just like, man, is this just who you are? Is this, and the question was, is this who he is, or is he just playing a role because he's at work and he's a cop and he's a sergeant, you know? But regardless, like, ugh.
Did you
Take
know
it
him
easy,
off
bro.
time? Did you guys ever have like cop barbecues or no one really?
No.
What about
Especially
playing pool?
Maybe with other officers. There were times where we'd go drinking to bars and stuff, but not with your superiors. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That was frowned upon or not allowed?
I don't remember. I remember it never happening. I don't know if it was a fraternization policy or just like, I'm not hanging out with those losers, you know, that
Right.
kind of thing.
I think totally with I think trauma bonding might be with the coach in this situation, how you're saying the football coach, because you do get a compliment or you get that reward.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's the rush we're talking about, where it's like, oh, you see me, how great,
Yeah.
thank you. And then I'm going to work harder and I'm going to work harder.
Yeah.
And then you don't get that reward again. And it's like, oh, and then you got a glimmer of it. And then it goes back down.
Yeah. I had one coach who was great, Steve Corrigan. I don't even know if he's still alive, but he was a Marine, just a real nice dude, but just real gruff. And I was one of his favorites. I was a defensive lineman in high school, and I was the smallest defensive lineman because most of the time a defensive lineman's not 5'9". You know, I was by far the shortest, but I was, not to brag, I was the best.
Yeah.
Just because I used my quickness as opposed to, you know, I couldn't just bulldoze a guy 6'3", 300, but I could maybe outquick him and get around him and make the tackle. And I had a real good season my senior year, and he would always use me. Like I said, I was the smallest guy, and in practice, he would yell at the bigger guys that I was beating. And I know you're not supposed to say this word anymore, but what's he going to say?
I know.
But he would always say, he would yell. Like, we had this one guy, Chris, who was giant. Chris, what are you doing? Stone's a midget. A midget's kicking your ass. And I'd be like, Coach, come on. I can hear you. But I just always remember, a midget's kicking your ass. Stone's a midget, and he's kicking your ass. I'm like, come on. I know you're trying to compliment me, Coach.
It was kind of a compliment, but a bit of a slap.
Stone's a midget, and he's kicking your ass.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't take it personal, but it was just like, come on.
I think with traumatic situations, too, it's interesting because it can happen in workplaces. It can happen, like you said, with football or any type of team. But it usually does happen with family. at an early age because your sense of safety as a child is mom and dad and home. And this is where I feel safe. And okay. So mom's passed out on the couch every day and that's just what she does. And you know what I mean? You start justifying your daily routine. And so if it includes trauma, you're going to go into your adult life if you didn't deal with it and be like, hey, we had the same mom. And that's fine if you become healthy friends. If it's an actual friendship, accountability, you can share your feelings. But if somebody tries to get a position of power over you with over talking or talking down to you or whatever it is, that initial bond starts to get a little rusty and gross. And it takes a really emotionally intelligent person to be like, wait a minute, this isn't cool. I'm going to walk away. Yeah. But with the trauma bonding, that's like trying to quit cocaine. Like, it's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll keep it up. I'll keep it up.
Interesting.
I know. So weird, right? But, okay. So, what do we do about it?
Yeah. What can be done?
Oh, nothing. Everyone's screwed. Yeah. No, there is freedom to it. So, you have to stop the cycle, which is one of the hardest things. And that's taking self-reflection work. And if you feel isolated or alone or scared by one person in your life, whoever has to hear this, that is not normal. That is not okay. And the thing with, I think, trauma bonding, at least personally, when I would find good relationships, good friendships, it was almost like, what? Like, there wasn't that excitement. There wasn't that, sparkly drama. I was addicted to friendships that were full of drama and full of just dark cynicism, sarcasm, and it didn't feel even. It just felt bad a lot of the time. So if you can recognize that, that's the first step.
Okay.
And then the chemical part of it. So then I think medication helps so much. And if you have the ability to go to a doctor and get medication, usually trauma victims and with trauma bonding have anxiety and depression because they're like, okay, I want to please this person and I just want him to not freak out, or, I'm going to walk on eggshells, or I'm going to, she's having a bad day. It's, this is just how she is once a month or whatever the hell you justify the behavior. You're going to just continue that cycle. So what brain medicine does for me is that your brain that's going all this stuff. It's like, hey, monkey brain. Brain meds help go like shut that door and be like, let's just focus on the moment. Let's just, moment by moment. Because when you're in trauma mode, you are just surviving. So it's fight, flight, freeze, all of it. Like, you want to feel safe. How do I do that? Okay, I'll stick with, abusive husband or wife.
In the context of a relationship, wouldn't it, the solution just to be move on, end it? Like,
yeah, but you can't.
Well, why not?
Because you're addicted. It's the same thing as an addict. Why can't you just stop drinking?
Okay.
Well, because I'm addicted. Okay, well, just stop drinking.
It seems like a weird thing to be addicted to. Someone being a dickhead to you?
Not just that. It's somebody, a position of power over you.
Yeah.
So we talked about the Lizzo thing last week, right? She has power over her employees. She used that in not a great way, right? And so usually bosses or somebody that you're financially reliant on will use that like, well, fine, good luck. Yeah. Best of luck. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to be there for you. So that sense of financial safety is completely debilitating. Like, you just, I can't do this. Did you just yawn?
No.
Are you bored?
No.
I'm going to traumatize you in a second.
Not at all.
No, trauma kitty's coming out.
Mm-mm.
There it is. Anyway, okay, so I have a quote that I'd like to read.
Sure.
By Alice Little. Do I know who Alice Little is? No, but I liked the quote. So as traumatized children, we always dreamed that someone would come and save us. We never dreamed that it would, in fact, be ourselves as adults. So what you're saying is just get out of it. Just stop. But that's a healthy, emotional person that values yourself. The victims of trauma bonding they don't value themselves. And they've been told they're crap all their whole life. And they're like, okay, well, I'll just be dependent on this person because it feels safe.
Yeah.
It's
That's really a shame.
Yeah. But you have the power to say, okay, wait a second. Let me figure this out. And I'd like to share some sheets I bought. Are you ready?
Some sheets you bought.
Yeah. Okay. Get excited. All right. So you want to do some grounding techniques to keep you in the moment so you don't have an anxiety attack and want to jump into a fire. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Did I get this on a teacher's website for kids with special needs? Yes, but it works. So 5. Name 5 things you see around you.
Okay.
So name 5 things you see around you.
You, my computer,
Good.
the microphone, the sign, and the beer bottle.
Okay, 4 things that you can touch around you. Touch them.
The computer, the microphone, the sign, and the beer bottle.
Okay, 3 things that you can hear. What can you hear?
Oh, I can hear you.
Uh-huh.
I can hear myself
Uh-huh.
in the headphones. That's about all I can hear right now.
You don't hear anything else? Come on, man.
Now would be a great time for a fart.
Okay. 2 things you can smell around you. Name 2 of those.
I can smell a candle, and I can smell my roux from the gumbo that I'm cooking for Dave's Kitchen between this episode.
Yeah. That's amazing. And 1 thing you can taste around you. What's your taste buds right now?
Pretty boring right now.
What is it? Just nothing?
Yeah.
You got because I have some Celsius. I have some sparkling berry Celsius in my taste buds.
Yeah, my little
your little high life.
I always like to pretend that this is a normal size bottle and that I'm just gigantic. You ever see that picture of Andre the Giant holding a can of beer?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Pretty amazing.
But yeah, I can't taste this anymore.
So guess what? We just did a grounding technique. And yeah, I can hear your whistle. So if you get into the present moment, how fun is that?
So the point of that colorful piece of paper is just to keep you in the moment?
Yeah. Because you have to be mindful. All this crap goes back to the other crap that we all know, which is being in the moment.
Okay.
Not thinking of future, not all or nothing thinking, And I just want to remind everybody that you are, I have this hanging up in the bedroom. Yeah. I am unique, loved, strong, heard, capable, brave, kind, intelligent, important, appreciated.
How about that? Because
you are. And that's for people that have trauma bonding issues, they don't believe that. They don't believe a single thing. They don't have any self-worth, and they don't have, it's a lot like codependency, where you get all of your energy from this source of power in your life, which is tough, right? But you know what isn't tough? Journaling.
Journaling?
That's another thing you can do.
Okay.
I love to do brain dump, which is really good for ADHD people in the morning. When I remember this, when you wake up, you just take your pen and write, free write anything. Even if you don't want to write, you could put, I don't want to write, and you will write something.
Interesting.
And do 3 pages. And then that's it. And that's your brain dump. And that gets rid of all the guck in your head. If you had a weird dream, any of that. And then you get to focus on the day.
A lot of comics do that.
Really?
What's that? There's a program, The Artist Way.
Oh, yeah.
Free writing in the morning. Yeah.
I love that.
I never did that, but
hey.
I've heard of it.
Well, and that's a great book because everyone's an artist. That's what Julia Cameron says.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. Do you?
No.
You don't believe everyone's an artist.
No.
I think people have artistic stuff. I think all people have art. Mm-hmm. There's got to be some art.
If everybody was an artist, wouldn't that devalue art? If any jackass could do a particular art?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like
I mean, I've worked with guys.
Painter.
I've worked with guys in landscaping that are not artists.
Okay, but my question is, what if there's a landscaping artist?
Sure, I mean, yes, of course.
And there's, you could look at it that way. There's graphic designers that create computer art.
Of course. But yeah, I don't think everybody is artistic.
Listen, where's Julia? Let's get her on the horn.
Julia.
Cameron.
Oh, right.
The author of The Artist's Way.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, but it's really about staying in the moment and also finding support, which, back to trauma bonding. Sorry, everybody. You need to find a sense of support, and guess what? That's within you. There's a scene in Bridesmaids, the smash hit movie, where Melissa McCarthy comes to Kristen Wiig's house, and she's having a pity party, Kristen Wiig, and she says to her, you're your biggest problem, but you're also your biggest solution. And that is so hard to hear for people that struggle with codependency or trauma, but it's also great to hear because you're like, okay, wait a minute. I was raised this way. Mm-hmm. I was raised on Kool-Aid. Of course I love Kool-Aid. Or of course that's a sense of home, but if it's poisoning you, let's take out the Kool-Aid.
What's the mindset of the perpetrator in this scenario? The person who is creating the trauma in which to bond. You said it's all rooted in power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's power, and it's a type of conditioning. So a lot of narcissists use this.
It just seems exhausting to yield that over someone.
Well, and they have a different dopamine rush, right? So if they feel like they hooked somebody.
I said yield, I meant wield.
Wield and yield?
Uh-huh. That's what I get for trying to.
I like it, though.
I'm not good with words. I don't have a very good vocabulary.
Good one.
Nobody ever laughs at that joke. The irony that he couldn't remember the word vocabulary. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
You're right. I'm trying to put myself in the power position.
Going back to the cinematic example of
the smash hit movie Enough.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Like that guy. Like, it's just the typical gaslighting villain. Like, that just seems exhausting. Just let her be.
Yeah, but
just take it easy, brother.
But they don't see they don't see her. They see an it. They see how can I use this person?
Yeah.
How can I'll use them. And in the movie, a lot of people that are abusers cheat on their spouses too. And it's just like, okay. And if they find out they're cheating, it's like, well, I'm just going to go do this.
We were talking off the air about the Danny Masterson thing.
Oh, right.
We're on YouTube now, so we got to be careful.
Ooh, like scary. Words we use.
But we were talking about, I've always heard, well, it's not the R, it's not about sex, it's about power. Mm-hmm. But then why have sex with her? Why not, if it's about power, why not just tie her up and tickle her with a feather and be like, ha ha. It's a little bit about sex, no?
That's such a good question. I think it's about dominating somebody, and I think that's how, it's almost like how people that are pedophiles, there's something in their brain where the only way they can, is with a little person, which is sad and weird. Person. I don't know.
A child?
A child.
Not to be confused with an actual little person, because I don't think that's illegal.
I'm trying to be so don't say anything bad. Ugh. Oh, timer.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, no, this is interesting, Boo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trauma bonding. Yeah, I was way off. I thought it just meant, we survived a natural disaster together, and now we always have that connection. But it's more about bonding, the victim bonding with the perpetrator in this psychological bullshit.
Yeah, the psychological abuse. Also, guess what? We hold trauma in our bodies. So
Oh yeah, we learned about that with the gua sha.
Yeah. And so when you release that trauma, you're on a path of health, right? But if you hold it in, you're going to completely do the same pattern. Not necessarily a romantic pattern, but maybe a best friend or a coworker. You'll find it'll keep happening until you actually deal with your trauma.
Okay.
So, yay!
There you go.
Trauma bonding. Happy topic.
Good job, Boo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh,
Good
God.
job.
I know. I even had things. I had other printed things.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. This is fun.
Other printed things.
Trauma shows up in your life as procrastination, resistance, brain fog.
Well, how about that?
I know. I think
You got all kind of visual aids.
I like aids.
Yeah.
I like visual aids.
You need all the help you can get.
Yeah.
I get it.
Anyone does.
I get it. So what else going on?
Well, I'm excited for Halloween season.
Yeah, Halloween's coming up.
Yep, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Boo. We're going to go ahead, guys, and do a decorative window.
Your nose is running a little bit there. We could probably edit that out if you want.
Was it running really large?
Yeah, just a little bit.
No, it's okay.
You know, you're on camera now. I'm just looking out for you. You know?
So pretty.
Pretty girl.
Pretty girl. Pretty
Your
girl.
nose is running. You better go catch it.
I know. My uncle still has my nose.
My uncle still has my nose.
Listen, Boo, are you excited for Halloween season?
I'm
Because I
very
feel like
excited.
you're not.
No, why wouldn't I be?
Come on, let's get going.
Well,
I
it
know
is
you got the
September,
roux. I know,
You know,
but it's almost the 20th.
yeah, we kicked it off the other night.
we did.
I feel like now traditionally, I never got into the Halloween spirit until October, but I think September. Why not stretch out Halloween season?
Yeah.
I think September 1st.
Yeah.
That way you have 2 full months. You have all of September and all of October to
You
really
do.
get into it.
Yes.
And we kind of kicked our season off the other night by watching a scary movie.
Oh, it was
One that you've been
delightful.
chiming about for like months.
And then we couldn't find it. It was you thought it was a fluke. I was making stuff up. That's fair because I do that. But the Boogeyman,
Boogeyman.
so good.
Not
Thrills,
a podcast.
Chills.
Every other host who asks for my credits, and I tell them, I don't know, you can just say the Boogie Monster podcast. This next guy is from the Boogeyman. All right. Thank you.
But yeah, it's you said something during the movie that was so great where you're like, oh, this is a little kid's nightmare in real life.
Yeah, it was like a real manifestation of a nightmare. Just something's under my bed.
Yeah.
Something's in the closet.
And it wants to get you.
And yeah, it was good.
It was good.
I don't know if we've talked about this. I like the idea of horror movies. I like to be scared. I like tension. I like suspense. But so many, it seems like in the last 15, 20 years, so many of these just generic horror films all just have the same formula, the same look. And a lot of times I just get bored.
I understand.
You know,
yeah.
I can't even put my finger on it. I don't really have an example. Just this, it's just a whole bunch of nothing. But this one, man, this one was very satisfying.
Oh, it was so great.
Such a good monster, too.
Yeah. Oh, the monster, the effects, the direction. So good.
The lighting was a little, sometimes in these horror movies, the lighting's too dim. Like
Too dark.
And I know that, yeah, the guy's in a dark room looking for a thing. But still, sometimes, like, I can't, there was a few scenes where I'm like, I can't make out anything.
But your
in the
eyes are
scene.
going.
Yeah, well,
your
that's true,
eyes
too.
are going bad.
Yeah.
My eyes are
Carrots.
going bad. I got the rickets.
But no, this is a very satisfying horror movie.
If you had to choose your favorite top 3 scary movies, what would they be? Now,
Oh,
this
boy.
is real. Like, you actually like these movies. It's not just,
As opposed to what?
well, you know, sometimes.
Just got to make some shit up so I sound cool?
No.
I'm 46.
I know you're already a cool person, okay? We get it.
I'm very
okay,
cool.
confident man. I don't know.
Why would I be dishonest
Anyway,
about this?
no, but you know, sometimes with horror movies, it's like, oh, it's a crappy movie, but I like it because
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah.
blah. But I'm asking for 3 like actual good movies. Like, yeah, satisfying, like a meal that's good.
No particular order. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's one of my favorites, just because, like, just the idea of like this backwoods hillbilly family that are cannibals and like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of real, right? Like that could happen.
Yeah, and we've talked about this too. I think I tend to gravitate towards horror movies that are somewhat realistic. Like that could happen.
Yeah.
In theory, there could be a family of maniacs living in a old rundown house in Texas. And then that villain, Leatherface, such a scary villain. But that one I love. Not super original opinion here, but the original Halloween.
Yes.
Michael Myers, that's a great villain. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Terrifying.
And then as far as like truly scary shit.
Truly.
The Hills Have Eyes. Either the original or the remake. They're both pretty good.
Which one was that? The
Hills Have Eyes. It's just these, I think it's in the American Southwest, and it's on land that was used for nuclear testing and atomic bombs and shit. And now the people who stayed around that area have, over time, slowly been infected, by all the radiation and whatnot. And they've kind of morphed into these, like, kind of weird monster human hybrids.
Wow.
They live in this ghost town, and tourists and people pass through. Sometimes don't make it out on the other end.
Ooh.
Those are just, I'm sure there's better ones I like, but those are three that if I'm flipping around cable, I'll always stop and watch those.
Yeah. Mine are different.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear?
Sure.
Okay. Scream, the original.
Yeah.
Love it. We got comedy. We got, they're making fun of the horror genre. That's fun, but then it's also scary.
Yeah.
And could be in reality. Two psychos that go crazy.
What's the guy in that movie? Not Skeet, but the other guy.
Matthew Lillard.
He's small doses with that fella. Like he's the guy.
I'll be right back.
He's the guy at the party that I would avoid. Like, all right, you just get away from me.
He does a lot of tongue work.
Yeah. Well, he's just one of those guys that's always on.
Yeah.
Like when you get a chance, can you shut the hell up and just sit down? But yeah, he's a bit much. But no, it's an entertaining movie.
The newest Halloween, I really love.
Did we see that together?
Yes, we did. Oh, wait, I don't think you watched
the newest Halloween?
Yeah.
The Rob Zombie one, or there's a newer one since that?
With Jamie Lee. The Halloween.
Oh, the Halloween
something.
Ends or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kyle Richards, the smash hit little girl.
From the original.
Yeah.
Who's now a housewife or
Real
something?
Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's going through something. She's having a tough time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that is definitely my number 2. And my number 3, okay, so this is more of a thriller.
Yeah.
But I'm liking the idea of it, which is that one with Kurt Russell and the Thing and they're
The Thing?
No. He was in The Thing too?
Yeah. Kurt Russell was the main character.
That's cute.
In The Thing.
I didn't know. Okay. No, the one where he's in a car in the Jeep commercial. We kept saying
Breakdown.
Breakdown.
That's not a horror movie. It's more of a thriller. Yeah.
It's horror-ish. You know. You know. So that scared me.
Yeah.
All right, I have
No,
two.
that is in your defense, that is very scary to me. We rewatched that.
The Breakdown.
If we're ever in the Southwest on a lonely road and a trucker comes by to help, I'm not sending you off with him alone.
My heart.
So that really disappointed me with Kurt Russell. It's like, sure, honey, hop in the truck with this lone weirdo, and I'll meet you at the diner.
Oh, I love lone weirdos.
Not at all. We're both going, or neither one of us are going.
Scratch that. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, those are entertaining.
That was a delight.
Yeah,
cinematic adventure. Fun, flirty, cheesy, but good. Okay.
I tell you, I don't know if this is a horror movie. Maybe it is, kind of. But I rewatched the 80s classic starring Rowdy Roddy Piper called They Live.
Ooh.
I think it's a John Carpenter movie. John Carpenter did the original Halloween, I think. Yeah. Rowdy Roddy Piper. Speaking of The Thing, is it Keith David or David Keith?
Keith
David. There's also a David Keith. That's why I get him confused. But Keith David, he's in The Thing. He's in that movie. They Live.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good L.A. movie.
Ooh, I love an L.A. movie.
Roddy Piper gets off. He just shows up in town. He's a drifter.
Oh, I
I don't know if he just got off a train or a bus, but he's just in downtown Los Angeles. Just a drifter who just happens to be, have the physique of a pro wrestler since he was a pro wrestler.
Since he is a pro, or was, okay.
But yeah, and then he's kind of semi-homeless drifter, and then he just realizes something's going down in Los Angeles. Something's askew.
Ooh, I love when things are askew. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to figure it out.
But is it good? Or is it
It's entertaining.
What Rotten Tomato score did it get?
I have no idea. It's entertaining. Now, was it nominated for an Oscar? No.
That's true.
Is it the best movie you'll ever see? No, but it's entertaining. Okay. I love the premise of it. I don't want to give the premise away, but that premise has always fascinated me.
Ooh.
Like, some people aren't who they seem.
Oh, aliens. Okay, sorry. I just gave it away. Oh, I'm really bad at surprise parties too. Okay.
But yeah, check out The Boogeyman. Is it The Boogeyman?
The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Yeah. But there's a lot of other Boogeyman movies. You got to be real specific, guys. Because this one isn't even a rental yet. And you know what? I paid $14.99. I bought it.
You wanted to see it so bad.
It's on my Amazon now with a lot of other not great movies. But this one is a shining star.
Well, good.
I'm telling you. Any word of mouth from you, my love?
Not really. Other than that.
You're so tired from cooking.
No, I'm fine. No, I was trying to think if I talked about the Talent Children's new album last week. I don't know. Been obsessed with baseball this week.
Oh, how are they doing?
Braves. I mean, they clinched the division.
That means they're going to go to the World Series?
That means they're going to the playoffs.
Okay.
They're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Doesn't mean they're guaranteed a trip to the World Series, but clearly the best team in baseball. Like, it's not even really up for debate. Best record, smashing all kind of records, just our line. But that makes me nervous because in the playoffs, anything can happen.
That's true.
I mean, last year, we won our division last year. The shitty Philadelphia Phillies were 14 games out of first. They missed first place by 14 games. And then we had to play them in the first round, and they beat us. So I'm just hoping nothing like that happens again this season. So
no, when do we find out? When's like the
playoffs probably start October 1st, October 2nd, something like that. Yeah.
Man, and football season.
Yeah, football season. Falcons are good this year. My Bulldogs are undefeated, even though they didn't do great this week. They, slow start, but yeah, good sports times right now. September, October, best time for sports.
Do you rewatch the games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How many have you rewatched in the last week? Like, do you rewatch once or twice?
Well, it depends on if they win or lose. If they lose, I don't rewatch.
Okay.
But the Bulldogs, I watch the game in real time, and then the next day I'll rewatch it. Braves, a lot of times I always watch the condensed version after the fact. I'll watch the real game, but yeah, if my team's winning, I'll watch it at least once more throughout the week.
I love that.
That national title game last year when Georgia beat TCU, just beat the ever-living shit out of them. Biggest deficit margin of victory in, I think, championship history. I probably watched that game about 6 or 7 times at this point.
I cannot shade you for that because I will do that with Housewife episodes that are just chef's kiss perfect.
Yeah. And it is fun. I've said this before, but it's fun if you're a baseball fan or a football fan, whatever sport. It is, I love, like, especially in playoff times. And you've seen this, like, of course I'm watching every Braves playoff game, but I do not enjoy them. It's not fun because I'm so nervous. I'm
really?
so like the tension and just, so I'm watching, but it's not fun because I'm just a nervous wreck.
Oh, God.
So it's fun to go back and rewatch a game where you know the outcome, and now I can take that pressure off and just enjoy the nuance of the game.
Yes.
I can watch, that play. I can watch this strategy. I can't really enjoy any of that during the game. Regular season, I'm not a nervous wreck, but Braves in the playoffs or, Bulldogs in the playoffs, like, it's almost not enjoyable.
Why do you get that oxytocin high when they do a good thing though? Like during that, it's not. You're not just nervous.
Yeah, no.
The
I
whole
mean,
time.
when they score or whatever, yeah. But
Yeah.
just if it's a tight game or whatever, I'm just like, this isn't fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
much like when I tried to stir the roux.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a lot
that
of
was
pressure.
anxiety.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of it. Oh, God.
But yeah. Boo, where can we find you on Instagram?
KT Low Strandberg.
There you go.
Yay!
There you go. You posting stories? What are you
I'm
doing?
posting stories.
Post
I
all
got
kinds of
Charlie. Charlie's been really the star of the
Yeah?
show of my stories lately. Where is he? Somewhere.
Where is
Oh, okay. He's with Aaron. He's with his new dad.
Let's see. Come see a show. I'm back out on the road in a few weeks. I'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan, October 6th. I'll be Cincinnati, October 7th, doing 2 shows there on the 7th. October 8th, you can catch me headlining the Milwaukee Comedy Festival at the Laughing Tap. Boogie Monster also reuniting for a rare live show the same day, although that one's sold out, so sorry. What else? Raleigh, North Carolina, Good Nights Comedy Club, November 16th. Let's see, November 17th and 18th, I'll be at the Blue Ridge Comedy Club in Bristol, Tennessee. So, yeah, and then we kind of did a soft announce on one particular show, but, this December, doing a little group tour, myself, Billy Wayne Davis, Ryan Singer, and Jeff Tate.
It's going to be amazing.
So we've only announced one show so far, Manitou Springs, Colorado. That's December 15th. Definitely get your tickets on sale now. But we will be shortly announcing hopefully 8 or 9 or 10 more shows.
Oh, that's crazy. And how many days?
Probably 8 or 9 or 10 days. Maybe may have one off day.
You're going to be tired.
But yeah,
yes, it's going to be so much fun.
Maybe some Texas, maybe some New Mexico, maybe some more Colorado.
Ooh.
Maybe even a Lafayette, Louisiana. So, yeah.
Is that just because you want to go eat food?
I did. That was part of the consideration. I was like, well, all right, I'll tell you, we're doing a show in Houston. And I was like, guys, Lafayette, Louisiana is only 2 hours east of Houston. Maybe we go over there and do a show and get some boudin. Get up on that boudin, some cracklins.
What are cracklins?
Cracklins like fried pig skins.
Oh, yeah, the pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
Why do you call them cracklins?
Well, a proper cracklin, a pork rind is part of a cracklin. A pork rind is just the skin. Okay. But a cracklin, a proper Louisiana cracklin, will have that the pork rind part, but then they'll have the pork belly part, a little chunk of the pork fat.
That's fun.
So you've got the fat and the skin.
Ooh.
Boy. And shout out to Billy's Boudin and Cracklins there in, is it Scott, Louisiana? Scott, Louisiana is the Boudin capital of the world. It's only a couple miles from Lafayette. So, if you ever look at my comedy schedule and wonder why I do so many damn shows in Lafayette, Louisiana, get that Boudin.
Okay, so with the cracklins, I have a brilliant idea. Uh-huh. What if inside, not only is there a little pork belly with the thing over it, but a piece of bacon?
Piece of bacon? Well, pork belly is bacon.
Okay.
Bacon is pork belly. Bacon is thinly sliced pork belly.
Well, problem solved.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. There was something else. Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/Dave's Kitchen. Get on that if you're not a patron yet. Giving you some cooking videos, some instructional videos. We're doing podcasts, talking about food. They say talk about what you know.
Yeah.
So, also my new album, Pack a Lunch.
Woo!
The special's still up on YouTube. Check that out if you haven't seen it already. But also, the audio is streaming wherever you do that. But you can also purchase the 2 LP vinyl. You can get that at blondemedicine.com, or you can contact me directly. I've got some that I'm trying to unload. Ideally, I got a grip of them to sell on tour, but then this last tour that we went on, it was too hot, and I didn't want them all to melt.
Yeah.
Got to be careful with vinyl and heat. So,
and it's such a great album.
Yeah,
it's an awesome.
It's okay.
Awesome special. It's okay. Pack a lunch, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think that's all the plugs.
Well, good.
More phone calls hopefully coming next week. You can reach us anytime at 562-548-2012.
In that order.
562-548-2012. It's got to be in that order. Those are the numbers, but if you mix up the order, you're going to get someone else, and we cannot help you.
Yeah, sorry. So. Or if you want to just say hi, or just a fun, I like songs. What do you think of Trauma Kitty?
Yeah.
Things are important.
Yeah.
Talk
so
about.
Give us a holler.
Okay.
Give us
Boo,
a holler.
it was a joy. It was
As
a joy
always.
hanging out.
As always, Boo.
Yes.
I got to go tend to my gumbo.
Okay. And I'm going to tend to Charlie.
All right. We'll catch up again soon.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you. Bye. Yeah.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Okay, thank you.